So I just recently saw the new Demon Slayer movie in theaters. By the way, my quick review, it was good, hype. I just didn't like the formatting of it. But not only that, but I recently watched some non-anime movies related to this channel. I watched the first two Hunger Games movies, and before that I watched the Lord of the Rings movies. One thing that they made me realize is, and all before that, I watched Ant-Man Quantumania, and it made me realize something. I hate the new trend of 3-hour movies. And I hope it is a trend because it's really ridiculous. Name any big blockbuster movie, whether it be this year or next year, I will guarantee, this year or last year, I can guarantee you that it is at least longer than 2 hours and 20 minutes, or 2 hours and 20 minutes on the dot. I do not know why. Perhaps it's because a longer movie can mean you don't have to make as much sequels, which means you don't have to spend as much money on making more movies. Another reason could be you could finish the story off without having to resort to skipping a lot of character developments and other things. But usually it's not used for that. So I know in the beginning I might have mentioned I watched the Lord of the Rings movies earlier this year, and you might say, well, they're actually very long. I didn't watch the extended cuts. I watched the theatrical releases on Netflix. So yeah, and I know some of the extended versions are like, I think almost 4 hours long, but those were like DVD releases and VHS. You know, those those were not, main releases that everyone got to see. So it doesn't really affect me. I know Return of the King is like 3 hours and 10 minutes long, but like I'm gonna get to some of that in the next segment. So 3-hour movies. When did this trend start? I can't pinpoint exactly where it started, but I'm gonna say it's around near the end of Phase 3 of the MCU. Of course, everyone's familiar with the MCU. Whether you're an anime fan, a gamer, a normal moviegoer, the die-hard Marvel fan, or a die-hard DC fan, whatever, you know the MCU. So, so the movies that really started, I think, was Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. Avengers Endgame was known for being almost 3 hours long, or 3 hours long on the dot? Can you believe that? Nowadays it's like 2 hours and 50-some minutes. Easy. It's nothing compared to the next blockbuster movie that's 3 hours long. 3 hours and 20 minutes long. And you might think, oh, I can guess what movie he's talking about, and yes, it is Avatar: The Way of Water. I did not like that movie. In fact, I liked it so little, I did not care to talk about it on my channel. I will make a video about it. At least make a video about it. Might never upload it. I never made a video about it. I didn't even think about making it. I was just like, this does not deserve my attention. But for the sake of the argument of long movies, I will have to bring it up in the defense of shorter movies. Now, back in the olden days, before I was even born, most movies, whether it be even book adaptations, were pretty lengthy books. They would shoot for around 1 hour and 30 minutes. And those did have some harmful things to how short they were. For example, The Outsiders movie. The book is incredible. Movie, while good, cuts out a lot of character development and just kind of abruptly ends. If you've seen the movie, you might know what I'm talking about. If you don't, again, it's only 1 hour and 30 minutes. Pause the video, watch it. And you just skip the end. You'll see it just abruptly ends. And those had some pretty bad things, but for original movies, 1 hour and 30 minutes could tell a complete, tidy up story, and everything would be fine. Well, where did it change? Well, due to the new popularity of longer book series and book to movie adaptations, we can be a lot more popular. And also because video game adaptations for pretty lengthy games, it had to change standards. So it changed from a 1 hour to 30 minutes to a 1 hour and 50 minutes to 2 hours. And sometimes you can go above that, and it was mainly for lengthy books, like some of the Harry Potter movies, like, the behemoth that is Order of the Phoenix, and the Goblet of Fire, and the Lord of the Rings books, which even though they aren't as huge as them, the amount of detail they cram in to just only 500 something pages is a lot. Plus, the Hunger Games only make like 300 something pages. To be able to fit all of that in, they have to have a pretty lengthy movie. So, that's why it had to change, because this was the time where young adult book series, or book series in general, are being a lot more adapted due to things like Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings. Those movies just popping off in popularity. But then, superhero movies came out. Superhero movies were a lot more longer. They were around similar length, but when they started to become a lot more popular due to the start of the MCU, they got gradually longer and longer, because they need to tell a lot more story. Endgame with 3 hours. With Endgame, its 3 hours is pretty good. Hours of it makes sense. It ties up all of most of the character development, most of the struggles, fixes plot holes. It does that all in only almost 3 hours, or 3 hours, depending on the version you're watching it in. And there are newer MCU movies which are almost 3 hours long, have several plot holes, worse than CGI development, or random bits of character development without there being a middle point. There's a beginning, and then there's an end of the middle that was in older MCU movies that were shorter than them. To Avatar 2. And I know I said I was talking about how like something like Return of the King, Lord of the Rings, the third one, it's 3 hours and 10 minutes long. The reason why I can say it deserves to be, it's a book. Books have, by nature, more background, I guess not background details, but more descriptions and details of things. But a movie can't do, because it's showing you rather than describing to you. I know it's supposed to be show don't tell, but in terms of a movie, something like, as you can see something in the background, but will never be as descriptive as a book would. And so, that's why I think longer book to movie adaptations are better. But Avatar 2, like I said I would talk about it. It's not based off a book. It's based off of another movie. And I think when sequels to movies that are longer than the original are horrible with this. Well, as you're meant to wrap up the story, or is meant to continue the story in a meaningful way to get into an end for the next plot or the next storyline. 2 felt like it was cramming 2 movies worth of content into one by skipping practically everything in like 2 movies, placing them together, and trying to basically just sell you a ticket on the 3rd movie. All my opinions, even people that like the movie can say the character development was lacking and stuff like that. Even though it's 3 hours, the 3 hours were meant to just, most of the time it's just pretty CGI. Well, here we are. Avatar 2, there were other long movies like The Batman, but The Batman, it does a lot. It does everything that the older, shorter movies did, and used its long time to do what they did. Full character development, wrapping up the story. That is what other movies should do. So, here we are today in 2023, March. Now, 3-hour something movies are abundant, but you can help stop that by just not watching them, or by supporting shorter movies, which are often smaller movies, or they might be part of big franchises, but show those other big franchises that aren't trying to like literally give you a free school classes worth of time from your day. That will be all for this video. See you all next video. Bye!